You understand. What do you understand, Parker? You understand what it's like to be a black man? You don't. I've seen a lot of bullshit and it's really fucking me up.
Hey Heart Nation, it's Carla J, your host of Carla's channel, Heart to Heart Inspiration Podcast, your #1 podcast for heart-changing inspiration discussions. So today I am on location in Las Vegas with the one and only Mari G.
Hello. Hey.
From Detroit. If you all remember, I interviewed him in April for the Detroit Filmmaker Awards, and he actually was nominated for his role in the movie Melanin. And it is on Tubi right now, so y'all check it out if you haven't already.
Please do.
He played a great part, y'all. Oh my goodness.
You understand. What do you understand, Parker? You understand what it's like to be a black man? You don't. I've seen a lot of bullshit and it's really fucking me up.
Why he is here today is because he is in a new movie called Finding Nicole. And Finding Nicole is based on a true story about a young woman who was in an abusive relationship.
Yeah.
So Mari, let's just dive right into it.
Okay.
I think we fought a good fight.
The facts are just a lot less dramatic than Miss Beverly would like us to believe.
We're not doing this anymore.
No, Daddy, no!
Listen. I'm gonna keep doing this with you.
There is no law
I love you.
that Mr. Beverly will
I
not
won't
cross.
for you. You're mine. Breathe for me. Look, I read the reports. Just I love you.
Like in
I'm your world.
Obviously driving her narrative.
From the beginning. It's just from the beginning. You've been
You're not just fighting for you and your kids, but you're fighting for all of us.
He's taken enough away from me.
What attracted you to this role?
I think that as an actor, you always want to stretch yourself, you know, and sometimes you really don't know what you're capable of until you dive into certain situations. So in this case, I've never played anything like that before. You know, I just want to see what can I bring to it to make that character valid in a way that's going to resonate with the audience, as well as seeing what's in me to be able to make that actor true enough and tell that truth in an authentic way that's going to do the story justice.
I think you did do it justice. I was shocked to see you in there like that. Like, no, Mari, no. But in all seriousness, did you get a chance to meet Nicole herself?
Oh, yeah. I actually met with her first
Okay.
before I even took on the role. I just wanted to kind of see what actually happened. What was her experience? How did these things impact her? How did she deal with some of these situations? What some of his mannerisms? What was situations would basically trigger him and tick him off? What was he like when he was just, in a normal state? Was he like this all the time, like a raging maniac? Or is it just certain things that set him off, and then when he sets off, he basically can't be stopped until he's done or whatever? So I wanted to really find out what actually happened to make it be where if she watched it, her kids, whoever was actually on ground zero of the situation happening, they can look at him like, yeah, that was him. That's exactly how he was. Because also, other people who actually go through these situations, I wanted to make sure that, it's going to be authentic to them too. Because I would imagine there's a lot of similarities with people who operate in a mania of, psychotic, domestic violence type situation. So that was the goal of that. And we had a great conversation, and we're still pretty good friends now. We still talk and work and things of that nature. So we was able to get to know each other so we could be comfortable to be able to tell her story in a way that she felt was authentic.
That is amazing that you actually talked to her and everything. And I did see one part where her mother was involved. Was she on set?
Oh, well, they all came to set a few times, actually.
Okay.
So we were all close-knit for the few weeks that we filmed that. And then, just having conversations, talking about different things. And surprisingly, given how serious the subject is, they were pretty lighthearted, in general, even just while we were trying to work through these things. So I found that to be interesting, because I would think that, you reliving it in some way that, it kind of take you to a place that you don't want to be at. No, they were pretty hardened veterans about it, and, you know, they was cool. And that made things easier for us to operate, too, and be able to be comfortable enough to ask certain questions and receive information that was going to be pertinent.
That's true. And, you know, maybe because she's on the other side of it now, and she's victorious about it. Because a lot of times, even if my own family, my young cousin actually was killed by the man. And it would be harder to talk about that, probably seeing it reenacted because of the outcome that it was.
Yeah. And I'm sorry for your loss.
Yes, thank you. That's why this movie really touched me. I think you did a great job in getting from Nicole the similarities, the mannerisms, because that's how it was explained to us about my young cousin's partner. So I think that was good that you did that. And also, I think they probably wanted you all to feel comfortable. They probably didn't want you all to be take on all of that.
Yeah, I can see a bit of that. And I think that to kind of go back to one thing you said about your relative, that's kind of the bigger point of the movie, is to have these conversations, and it's the movie to kind of get people talking about it, because a lot of people are experiencing this, and you would never even know. I mean, I have a family member who watched it, and even though they may not go through all the spectrum of what was demonstrated, everybody has, well, not everybody, but I've seen some people come forth where even a certain segments was their story. And there was a scene where, okay, let me say it this way. The ideology that because you're married, that means that it's always consensual. I had a family member who came forth and told me how a ex-husband had the same mindset, and he operated in such a fashion that was similar to things that happened in the movie.
Right.
Broke my heart. I had no idea.
Right.
And there's a relative that tells me everything. We talk about everything. But that's the point of watching this.
Right.
Made her mention it.
Right.
So the film in that aspect, if nothing else, because it's like, even if it's situations where maybe it's long past, I think that for us as humans, the best way we're going to connect is that we have to understand each other.
Right.
And the only way that can happen is through effective communication. So we got to be able to be honest to talk about things, and also actively listen, seeking to understand one another. And that's the thing. So now that I have that information, it just makes my heart a little bit more softer to this particular family member who shared that. Right. Just knowing that that's something that she experienced and had to go through that by herself, or at least so she felt.
Right.
And had no means, or maybe whatever it is, that kept her from opening up to share those different things at that time, to hopefully be able to do something about it.
Right.
So it just makes my heart more tender towards her. And I'm saying, like, hopefully people who go through these scenarios, that they'll share it so we can learn. It'll help us be more compassionate and empathetic, because maybe there's certain behaviors that somebody's acting out of, and it's coming from that, but we don't know that.
Exactly.
You know, on the surface, we think everything's fine with you or whatever, and it's not.
Right.
So
we see you acting out in a way, but maybe we say, oh, she have an attitude all the time.
That's what I'm saying.
You know,
and we don't know it's because of that.
Right.
So hopefully that it'll help more who might be having those struggles.
Right.
Open up to somebody, you know, and kind of go from there, you know.
I think that's key right there. I really like what you said, and I'm glad you're good. I'm glad your family relative opened up to you.
Yeah.
And I know you have a daughter. You talked about your daughter on our last interview. How is she doing, and how do you want this movie to resonate with her?
What's interesting is that she hasn't watched it.
Okay.
And she doesn't really want to right now, which I don't blame her. Like, it's like, and I think the thing, too, is because even though I'm playing a character, that's still my face.
Right.
So she probably don't even want to see my face connected to that, which I don't blame her, because I don't even want to watch it no more. Like, hey, I'm in it, and I see it enough.
For me to watch it
I'm
like
straight.
that.
Like, nope, that's enough. I'm good. I moved on from that, and I don't even like seeing my own face when even though it's a character. So just stuff like that. But I have these conversations with her even before the movie, because that's just being a good father. You know, and doing my job in that aspect, and just how to navigate when these type of circumstances come up.
Right.
And I think the interesting part is that a lot of people really don't talk to young girls about, hey, this could be a scenario.
Right.
So I need to have you understanding what your protocol should be to kind of help deal with this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And one of the biggest lessons that I always teach her is this: my job is to stop evil. And I can't stop evil if I don't know what's happening to you.
Right.
You have to tell me. And it's not your job to decide how justice should be dispensed. So don't not tell me because you're like, well, I don't know what my dad's gonna do to him, and I don't want him to go to jail. Well, that ain't got nothing to do. Now you're interfering with what I'm supposed to do. That ain't got nothing to do with you. So don't you make that decision for me. I'ma handle that. However, I gotta handle it because my job is to stop evil by any means necessary to make sure you're straight. So your job is to tell me, and I'll take it from there. The rest is up to me. Don't you worry about nothing. But I'm gonna make sure you're straight, like I'm supposed to.
They do worry about that though. In talking with some other victims or people, I shouldn't say victims, they have stated that they care about their family. They don't want the family members to get hurt. They don't want them to get in trouble, things like that.
I know, but that's why I had that conversation because but that's part of teaching.
Yeah.
You know, I'm giving her and grooming that understanding about how the world actually works and the responsibility that we all have of the choices we need to make. That's what's supposed to happen because if you think about it, if you look even particularly in the black community, a lot of our people are not used to being guarded correctly. And in this case, since there's a lot of situations from single mothers type scenarios, not enough of fathers or men around for all kinds of reasons, which we're not going to get into. But my point is that absence is what's creating that chasm of not having the understanding of what masculine protection and leadership looks like.
Right.
Because you go back before the 60s, everybody pretty much had a father in the home. So these things were just common to know how things are supposed to go in a certain areas or whatever. So it's like that's been lost. So of course, if I'm kind of any father of wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, which I am, then I got to make sure she got to know how things are supposed to go, even if it's something that's uncommon to know, because a lot of people around here are crazy. And it's just because they haven't had the proper family dynamic to raise them in a way that's going to help them be whole. So what are we talking about? High levels of dysfunction.
High levels.
So the goal is, as any parent, is to keep dysfunction, or at least when things happen, learning how to keep it from turning into dysfunction. That's our job. So my daughter knows what it's like to be loved by a man and to be protected by one. So she has something that unfortunately, a lot of girls and women have never had.
Right.
So there's certain things where in certain situations she should be able to navigate a lot easier because she's been raised with this understanding and she's been raised with this protection on how things go. And a lot of it's just really just smart, being smart about things. Like if you ever seen that movie, how did they get into that? They did something they wasn't supposed to do. Because they never thought how bad things can go if you're interacting with strangers. It doesn't even matter if they're attractive. If anything, they're probably the craziest. There's a reason why the Bible says that, beauty is deceitful. And charm is vain. You got to watch out for all of that kind of stuff. And the best thing is do what you're supposed to do to keep things from happening. So I try to always connect movies, world examples, whatever. Like, see? You see what happened to them? Guess what? I ain't Liam Neeson, so I ain't going to be able to show up and get her hands and all that and show them the feet. It's not going to happen. I don't have them kind of skills. No, I can't track nobody, so don't put me in that position.
That's right.
Do what you're supposed to be doing.
And what do we say? Don't talk to strangers. Don't tell your business, to anybody or out in the open, things like that. So, because someone is always looking. They do this for a living. With that, you have always been such an inspiring person. The last time we interviewed together, the comments were so great about you. They just love what you had to say about your daughter. I even remember your quotes. One of the ones that stuck with me was, just because you can do something doesn't mean you should.
I live by that. And that's the biggest thing putting in my daughter, what we just talked about in that example. Just because you can doesn't mean you should, because there's always a cost for everything. Like, ain't nothing free. Nothing free. And I didn't even give an example. I remember my daughter's great-grandma said something that always stuck with me. And it's just, she was talking from a spiritual context, but it's just true all the way around. She used to always say to me, she says, salvation is free. It's the walk that costs you. So I always think about like just every single thing you do in path you take, like there's going to be a cost in some way. And even the Christ said that, consider the cost before you start anything. So you think about those things, and it's like, and that's why I make sure that that's what we live by. Because there's always going to be a consequence. The goal is, hopefully you want a positive consequence. You shouldn't want bad things to happen. I'm sure, because I also flew past the Grand Canyon, I saw it, it's big for no reason. And it made me think about one thing. I'm sure riding in a 2026 Bentley is fun and looks great in the inside, and you probably have all the amenities and everything in between, but would you still get in that car if you knew it was going off the cliff of the Grand Canyon?
Right. Nope.
Are we smart enough to say like, oh, I don't want to die today and I don't want to get in that car, so I don't care if it's fun on the way there.
Right.
We're not doing that.
Right.
I see the end of that. I'm straight.
Right.
Are you the smart person? Don't get in the car. Just saying, like, as crazy as that example is, you'd be surprised so many people can't make that determination.
Right.
So I make sure she understands that. Like, don't be that person.
You're lame sometimes if you choose not to, right? Society puts your peers or whatever may put this pressure on you, but you got to understand everything has a consequence, and you got to make a decision for you.
Exactly.
Not for them. I love that.
I'm glad you brought up about the peers. I told her, I was like, look, most of your friends ain't raised right. Why would you listen to them?
Right.
You don't listen to somebody you know they crazy. You can be cool, but if I know you crazy, one ear out the other. That's how you do it.
Right.
Keep it pushing. Yeah, whatever you say.
Right. That's a conversation we got to have. It's
you
real.
do.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's
I'm
true.
like, you're at peace in a way that most people are not. You got more peace than grown people.
Right.
Why would you listen to them?
Right.
When you can see, like, that's not smart. Don't get me wrong. We're talking about things that make sense, that's smart.
Right.
Like, to take an example, that was not smart. You're in another country. You don't know how they get down. You don't know these people from Adam. You don't know the culture. You don't have street smart because they was like suburban privileged girls.
Right.
So they don't even understand the underbelly of how things actually work. Yo, that was just recipe for things to be bad. And you saw her friend didn't make it.
Right. That's right.
All because they did something stupid because it was some guy they thought was cute. Like, just imagine that end up there for something crazy like that.
Right.
I'll be lame all day. Yep, I'm alive too. Whatever.
And it happens like that every day.
Every day. We in Vegas. I can imagine what be going on up in here.
Yeah. All this glitz and glam behind the scenes, it's a whole nother world.
Yeah,
a whole nother world.
I know this.
And you don't want to get caught up in that. You know. So, with all of that being said, and all the wisdom that you have,
thank you.
What is on your plate next?
You know what? Right now, I've decided to take a break from everything because I had a death in the family recently.
Right.
So, you know what? It's just more so recollecting right now and just processing that still to take the lessons from that and kind of figure out what makes sense right now. But the main thing is just give myself time. I think we don't give ourselves enough time, you know, when things happen in life. And right now, that's one of the things I want to do. Just take the time to kind of think about some things, be at peace, and then get back to that place to start, you know, getting creative again or whatever. Like, it's definitely in me, and I'm thinking about some things I want to do. But I realize, like, I don't want to rush myself either. Okay. You know?
This is your time.
Yeah.
Your me time.
Yeah.
And it's okay to do that. It's your retreat for yourself.
Yeah.
Because life is short.
Yes, it is.
And we have to replenish, reestablish relationships, reconnections with ourselves, our goals, and things like that. So I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you for that. You know, you have a lot under your belt already, and it's not going to go away. It's going to be there for you if you decide to go back, whenever you decide to go back.
Right.
You know, sometimes people feel like, this is my moment right now, I need to run to it.
Yeah.
And that may be true in some instances, but if you feel that calling on your heart, then I'm glad you're doing it.
Yeah. I, you know, because I want to make sure I'm present in whatever I do.
Right.
And especially when it comes to film and stuff like that, you can use a lot of energy, but sometimes you just don't feel it. And I don't. So right now I just need to be cool, you know?
Yeah. But I'm so glad that you're taking time for yourself.
Thank you.
I'm so glad we got to connect in
I know.
Yes.
Crazy stuff. We made it work.
This is one of my places. I travel between here and Chicago.
Okay.
And I met someone else I interviewed. He came to Vegas, and I got a chance to meet him in person. So I love it. So if you all are out there and I've interviewed you before, let me know, and I will definitely meet you. Or if you want me to interview you, just DM me or send me an email, and I will definitely come to you if you're in Vegas. And so I'm just so excited, and I want you to have a good time. And we're not going to hold you anymore because we know you want to get to these Vegas streets. So, Heart Nation, thank you so much, and we will talk to you all soon.